And if he had let one person be acquitted, he'd have a stain on his much-prided perfect record. That's why he concealed the fact that the body was hidden and had Mr. Master declared guilty.
What are you saying? For 18 years, that man has taken the blame for your crimes. Don't you feel anything at all?
I don't care what you say. What a monster! I'm arresting him right here, right now, sir! There's a problem.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that will be impossible.
So you figured it out. That's correct. You have no right to sentence me.
What? But the culprit is standing right in front of us.
Allow me to tell you the reason why you can't arrest me. He's gonna bring up the statute of limitations. It has been 18 years since I murdered Dover. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years, is it not? In other words, it's impossible for you to arrest me. I only confessed my crime because the statute of limitations had expired. What a douche.
The statute of limitations for murder is 15 years. Mr. Edgeworth, is there nothing we can do?
As long as the statute of limitations remains, arresting him is impossible.
No way!
My sincerest apologies, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Neither Mr. Gustavia's testimony nor your logic can be taken as official legal proof. The verdict of the trial 18 years ago cannot be overturned. What about the fact that Mr. Dover's body was hidden? Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gustavia, this should at least earn Mr. Master a retrial.
Really? I wonder about that. Overturning a verdict of the goddess of law is much harder than you think.
Is the PIC trying to justify the verdict from 18 years ago? How unfortunate, Sir Prosecutor! Is there nothing I can do? Is there no way to continue pursuing Mr. Gustavia? There has to be a way. Alright. Let's press on everything. No matter how many years have passed, your sin will never fade. Sir Prosecutor, I'm sure you must have realized by now. There's no way you can arrest me. Arresting you would be a piece of cake for someone like Mr. Edgeworth. Isn't that right, sir? I don't think it will be that simple. It's impossible for you to arrest me. Skipping over this one? We're getting close to the end though, I can feel it. It's too early to say for sure that's impossible. Hold it! Just give it up, Sir Prosecutor. Just like your father before you, you cannot catch me. It was because of Aunt Carmen's interference that my father couldn't find the truth. And now I'm about to lose the truth due to the statute of limitations.
Mr. Edgeworth, we can't give up now! Your father's last case! We have to see it through to the end!
Okay.
We can't let the culprits steal the truth! That's our job! As great thieves!
I am not a great thief, but it is as you say. Dame Gustavia, I won't let you escape. By all means, try your best! So, you confessed because you knew that the statute of limitations had already expired. Of course! Who would confess otherwise? Okay, his laugh is starting to get a little tough for me to do. Well, I would have preferred to carry the truth of Dover's murder to my grave. Why is that? I am now the world's best confectioner! I wouldn't want to have such a trifling matter affect my path as an artisan of desserts. So you let Mr. Master take the fall while you protected your own position. You alone I cannot forgive. My path is for me to decide. I don't need your forgiveness. Miles, it's been a long time since your Uncle Ray's been this angry. I feel the same way. I cannot allow this man to go unchecked. I can see how he was able to escape justice for 18 years.
Isn't there some way we can catch him?
Mr. Gustavia is an amateur at law, after all. He's no match for a real ace attorney. I'm sure there's some flaw in his plan that we can't exploit. An amateur at law, huh? Alright, let's skip over and press on this. It's possible that some of your actions 18 years ago were not affected by the statute. It's been so long, I've got nothing left to hide. Ask me anything you'd like. Very well. Could you explain to me what you did during these past 18 years? Certainly. After the contest, the medicine from the recipe book allowed me to fully cure my taste disorder. I then immediately headed to Zhangfa to train my design skills. So he wasn't seen ever since that case because he was in a foreign country. Ooh, I think there might be a loophole there. Indeed, and I'm certain that I went abroad to train. About 1 year after that case, right before Sir Master's final trial began. And thanks to my training, I am now a confectioner unparalleled in both taste and design. Damn, that is pretty damn nice. You should not be proud of a position earned through the sacrifice of others. You can't bake a cake without breaking a few eggs. Sacrifices were necessary for my goal. That's horrible. Say what you will. The fact still remains that you cannot arrest me. I have to get more information out of Mr. Gustavia. Was there anything of note to his recent testimony? His training in Zhangfa. Could you please add the details about your training in Zhangfa to your testimony? Certainly. Afterwards, I trained in Zhangfa to become the world's best confectioner. Okay. You trained in Zhangfa. After the incident 18 years ago, I left on a journey. I had already decided to hone my candy crafting skills in Zhangfa. Thanks to that. Ooh. I'm actually kind of excited to see what he makes. Oh, snap! My design sense is incomparable to what it was in the past. Whoa, that's awesome! You may have it, if you like. Oh, sweet! So, he trained in Zhangfa. Alright, we're gonna present the statute of limitations to that statement. Going back. Oh my god, text, stop. That's not it. Don't present! Where is the... There we go. We're gonna throw the book at you! One of the conditions regarding the statute of limitations for murder is as follows. If the suspect flees to a foreign country, the time limit is on hold until the suspect returns. So the statute of limitations was suspended while you were overseas.
That's right! The statute of limitations stopped while you were training in Zhangfa!
Indeed. It is possible that the statute of limitations has not expired yet. Mr. Gustavia, please tell us how long you stayed in Zhangfa. It would be exactly 3 years. 3 years? Wait. Let's calmly think this over. The case occurred 18 years ago. The statute of limitations is 15 years, and he was away for 3.
15 plus 3 is exactly 18 years! I'm sure of it! Mr. Edgeworth, we did it! The statute of limitations hasn't expired yet!
Exactly 18 years, you say? How amusing! So he realized.
Why are you laughing? The statute of limitations still applies!
Okay, it's frustrating, but the case occurred in December. It's April now, which means, strictly speaking, the case occurred 18 years and 4 months ago. His stay abroad wasn't quite enough. We were just a few months short. Oh god, shit, why?
Not enough? That's...
Like I said, it's impossible for you to arrest me! He must have known about this when he confessed to his crime. Really cutting it close, though.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, it really is a shame. If it was just 1 year earlier, the statute of limitations would not have run out.
No.
Those who undermine the Goddess of Law's verdict must bear the burden of their crimes. It seems you were simply incapable.
Wow! Holy... Oh, God! I'm sorry, I can't. Courtney, you are a bitch! This can't be the end.
So, Monsieur Gustavia really is beyond the law's reach.
Kate, what are you thinking? Don't, Kate.
Objection.
If you're thinking of taking matters into your own hands, I implore you to reconsider. There still might be a way to bring this man to justice.
What?
Miles, remember the facts of the case 18 years ago? Just as you were mistaken earlier, it seems Mr. Gustavia has also overlooked one key detail. He wasn't present during Mr. Master's final trial, so he doesn't know the outcome of the trial. There may yet be a way for you to arrest him. Miles, look over that book on the statute of limitations again. 17 years ago, Master was falsely accused guilty for a serious crime. Thanks to that verdict, we aren't out of ammunition just yet. Mr. Shields, you don't mean... I actually want to look. Accomplices are on trial. The countdown is stopped until the verdict is reached, then resumes if charges are pressed to demand. Okay. Okay. Those who undermine the Goddess of Law's verdict must bear the burden of their crimes. I am Mr. Master's attorney. I can't use his suffering as a weapon in good conscience. For that reason, I leave the rest up to you. The trial my father and Von Karma battled over, can I use that to arrest Mr. Gustavia? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Raise an objection! My father and Von Karma, their paths diverged. One revealed the truth, the other concealed it. The path that I choose is the one that reveals the truth.
I see no further reason to prolong this trial. I hereby find Dane Gustavia not guilty.
Fuck you. Overruled. Gustavia will stand in court for his crimes.
Do you mean to say you have found a way to arrest Mr. Gustavia?
Exactly. I'll show Judge Courtney the evidence that will shatter the statute of limitations. Incident files.
The IS-7 case file? Which page are you referring to?
We're gonna look at the suspect data. The suspect data page. At the trial, Jeffrey Master was found guilty of being an accomplice to the murder. And it took 1 year to arrive at this verdict.
Right, that is indeed true.
This book lists conditions in which the statute of limitations can be put on hold. The first, as I have said earlier, is if the suspect flees to the foreign country. But there's one more. So close! If possible, accomplices are on trial. The countdown is stopped until the verdict is reached. What are you saying? Sir Master was found to be an accomplice? That's right. Mr. Master was sentenced after you had left for your trip to Zhangfa. And he was found guilty not of being the culprit, but of being an accomplice. But it seems you didn't know that. That's absurd! Sir Master never committed any crime to begin with! You should certainly know this! Of course we do. That is why we are going to free him. To that end, we will shatter the one remaining obstacle in our way. The statute of limitations. You fled to Zhangfa for 3 years, and Jeffrey Master was being tried as an accomplice for 1 year. Put it all together, we see that the total time limit for this case is 19 years. In other words, the statute of limitations is not over for you yet. Ah!
Edgeworth, is there nothing we can do?
As long as the statute of limitations remains, arresting him is impossible.
No way! My sincerest apologies, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Neither Mr. Gustavia's testimony nor your logic can be taken as official legal proof. The verdict of the trial 18 years ago cannot be overturned.
What about the fact that Mr. Dover's body was hidden? Even if we can't arrest Mr. Monster, I'm arresting him right here, right now, sir! There's a problem.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that will be impossible.
So you figured it out. That's correct. You have no right to sentence me.
What? But the culprit is standing right in front of us!
Allow me to tell you the reason why you can't arrest me. And if he had let one person be acquitted, he'd have a stain on his much-prided perfect record. That's why he concealed the fact that the body was hidden and had Mr. Master declared guilty.
What are you saying? For 18 years, that man has taken the blame for your crimes. Don't you feel anything at all?
I don't care what you say. What a... He's gonna bring up the statute of limitations. It has been 18 years since I murdered Dover. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years, is it not? In other words, it's impossible for you to arrest me. I only confessed my crime because the statute of limitations had expired. What a douche.
The statute of limitations for murder is 15 years! Mr. Edgeworth!
Gustavia, this should at least earn Mr. Master a retrial.
Really? I wonder about that. Overturning a verdict of the Goddess of Law is much harder than you think.
Is the PIC trying to justify the verdict from 18 years ago? How unfortunate, Sir Prosecutor! Is there nothing I can do? Is there no way to continue pursuing Mr. Gustavia?